Elle magazine columnist E. Jean Carroll has won part of her civil lawsuit against President Trump for a rape that she alleged in her 2019 memoir happened in 1996 in a Bergdorf Goodman department store in Manhattan. Daily Wire has the verdict and some of the case details here, so for those who aren't up to speed, I'll just run through. So Carroll alleged that Trump and she encountered one another while shopping, that they'd met at a party before, and that Trump was trying to buy lingerie for another woman, that somehow there were no shop assistants, nobody really around, there was no CCTV on, and no eyewitnesses to witness this particular exchange, but hey-ho, and so they decided to have a conversation and joked, hey, why don't we each pick a pair of lingerie and go and try it on in the fitting room? And so Trump followed her into the fitting room and apparently raped her there, and she'd said nothing about that until 2019, and there is no DNA or video evidence or eyewitness testimonies to corroborate that. She apparently didn't want to report the alleged encounters to the police because she said in her complaint she was in shock and didn't wish to think of herself as a rape victim, until obviously President Trump became president, and then she wanted to elevate it to a civil case because criminally the statute of limitations had expired. Fortunately, in 2022, New York passed the Adult Survivors Act that allowed a 1-year period for victims to file a sexual assault lawsuit that was beyond the original statute of limitations. So they made the law different in New York, where they both reside, so that she, well, not for her to sue him, of course, we couldn't allege that, but so that this could happen, at least. Downstream of it, okay.
I've got a question. Maybe you can riddle me this. If I'd been raped
yes,
by someone who's now going to be president,
yes,
pretty sure that they're against Hillary, I'd probably bring it up then, maybe?
Yeah, during the running, yeah.
Maybe when they'd won. Maybe in the first couple of years of their presidency, because now, you know, it's a big... No, wait right till the end. And they'd be like, hang on a minute.
Yep.
I was a rape victim. Donald Trump raped me in the...
Well, it took some time for her bravery to manifest, I'm sure.
I'm confused, is all I'm saying.
Yeah. So the jury actually rejected the claim that Trump raped her, but they said he still committed battery, even though she's alleging full-on rape. So... Right. And he said that he defamed her by saying, I didn't rape this woman, except they said that Trump didn't rape her.
That's defamation now, is it?
Yeah.
I plead not guilty. Defamation.
Cold screwed. He's absolutely gone. There is no way that's going to happen. Right, okay, well, the business is going to be over. That's it. Right.
God.
So Trump has to pay her a total of $5 million, $2 million for battery, even though that's not what she alleged, and $3 million for defamation. There was a jury of 6 men and 3 women, one of whom was apparently a Tim Pool viewer, so I don't know if he sat on the fence, as you joked, and they deliberated for a little over 2.5 hours before returning a unanimous verdict. Trump had obviously responded to this in his typical fashion on True Social, in all caps, I have absolutely no idea who this woman is, the verdict is a disgrace, a continuation of the greatest witch hunt of all time. Now, I would like to say that because Carroll is particularly litigious, we would never allege that this woman is lying. We just have some questions.
$3 million.
Yeah, we just have some questions judged by some of her own statement. Speaking of getting lots of money out of people, if you'd like to pay us £5 a month to keep the lights on because we've been demonetized, you can go and learn from Dan from his Brokenomics series about universal basic income, which is all about people that don't work getting money from people that do. Moving on. Anyway, the reason I have some questions is because from CNN, from an interview she did shortly after she published her memoir, titled, What Do We Need Men For? A Modest Proposal. Are you familiar with Jonathan Swift's A Modest Proposal?
No.
It was a satirical text about the Irish famine, which suggested you should eat your children.
He's got a point, but what's her point?
As mutual bogmen, I feel like you're betraying our ethnicity here.
I don't know, that island can sink.
Well, so she decided to go on CNN, and she was questioned as to why, if she alleges she has DNA evidence, because she's never washed the dress since 1996 that she supposedly wore, Monica Lewinsky style.
That's pretty good.
So why doesn't she give it over? And she gives us an answer. Certainly an answer. Let's play.
You have said that the coat dress that you were wearing, and we have a picture of it because you're on the front page of New York Magazine, this is exactly the outfit that you were wearing the day that you say the attack happened. You have kept that dress. You've never worn it again, you say. Have you ever dry cleaned it?
No. The thing is, we all have dresses. You just hang them in the closet. Something bad. You didn't have a good time wearing it, and you never put it on again because it's just a bad luck dress. I never felt like putting it on again. I did not turn it into a talisman. I didn't wrap it in plastic. I didn't think. I just didn't want to put it on again.
I guess my question is could there be any DNA on there?
I have no idea. I do not know. if the president ejaculated. Have no idea.
I guess the reason I'm asking is because the mayor of New York City, Mayor Bill de Blasio, who, of course, is running against President Trump, has said that if you were to bring a case forward, he will pursue it. He will have the New York City Police Department pursue it. So do you want to pursue this?
It is the greatest police department in the world. The detectives are great in New York. The thing is, it's past the time. It's experts. I've been talking to experts, and they say that we've passed
the statute of limitations.
Yes, thank you.
Yes, there was a statute of limitations in place at the time that this happened in late 1995 or 96. That has since changed. And Mayor de Blasio, when he heard your story, said that he would pursue on your behalf an investigation. And so you have the dress that you were wearing. You don't, I'm sure, still have the tights. But would you consider doing that?
I consider it, but the experts are telling me that.
So you've consulted lawyers?
Yeah, well, they've written to me. I've never consulted a lawyer in my life. It's not something I would do. They have, emailed me to tell me that, as you say, the statute of limitations is passed because I don't know the legal. I don't want to say what because I don't know what it is. But
what is this interview?
And so, what do you want out of telling this story? Obviously, you.
So,
chat's asking if she's intoxicated.
Well, lots of her interviews would suggest that she's a little bit unorthodox, we could say. I do enjoy how she basically answers every question like Trump. It's like, if you go, well, do you want the police department to follow up on this? People tell me that they are the best police department. There's no other police department like it. People say so.
But the weirdness of being like, I don't know, whatever. With the dress, I don't know. I wasn't there. Did he ejaculate? I have no idea.
Well, Trump's team seemed to think that the president didn't because they actually said, yeah, let him take a DNA test. The judge said no. Right. Bit weird.
Evidence in my court.
Yeah, so the judge actually rejected Trump's team to their request to test the dress and provide a DNA sample. Carroll's lawyers also wanted to do a DNA test. Judge still said no. Very odd.
Did Carroll want to do it?
But the lawyers did, representing on her behalf. So both parties consented, which is not being alleged in the lawsuit.
I'm also just a bit weirded out when she described her dress as a bad luck dress.
Yeah.
Spot of bad luck. I've been raped. It's not... I mean, I met rape victims when they're covering the grooming guns. They don't usually talk like that.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah, if you... Well, we'll see later on how maybe you wouldn't frame this traumatic event in such a flippant way if it was truly traumatic. But again, not alleging she's lying. So the analysis of the DNA on the dress that has been conducted so far concluded it did contain traces of unknown men's DNA. But the judge said the report didn't find evidence of sperm cells and said reopening the dispute would raise a complicated new subject into this case, whether or not it happened, that both sides elected not to pursue over a period of years. Well, they're both saying now. So...
Then throw it all out. It's a waste of time.
Yeah. He said a positive match of Trump's DNA on the dress would only prove there had been an encounter between Trump and Carroll on the day she wore the dress, but not prove or disprove that a rape occurred and might prove entirely inconclusive. But if there's no DNA on there...
Did they meet or not?
Yeah, but hang on a minute. So
he can't rape her if he hasn't met her.
Yeah, he's saying, so if the DNA was on the dress, it wouldn't matter. It just proves that they did have sex. It doesn't matter if it's consensual. Okay, but what if the DNA wasn't on the dress? They didn't have sex at all. That's what you're worried about, wasn't it? Because we'll see that the judge is not the most impartial person in the world. Carroll also has a habit of saying some bizarre things in the lead up to this. This was an interview on MSNBC with Lawrence O'Donnell, and I know that when I'm describing a traumatic event from my life, I always make sure to get a contemporary quip in like it's a Marvel movie. Let's play, please.
And the way he looked at me, you could see he was trying to calibrate how old a person, my thigh bone in a Neanderthal cave. It was like that kind of look. Okay. So Lawrence, I wish I had said, I'll tell you my age if you show me your tax returns.
What?
Who doesn't smile when talking about how they were raped?
Who doesn't get a joke in describing apparently the worst thing that's ever happened to you? All right, so obviously credible person then went and spoke to Anderson Cooper. And if we go to the next tab, this is the CNN version.
That dislikes.
Well, the dislikes are because the interview isn't quite complete.
I'm so glad I'm not his type.
Yeah, well,
What if you're not his type? He wouldn't have.
but that's what she's. That's
No,
part of
no,
what she
no,
sued
no,
him for defamation over.
What? You said you said I'm not your type, but you raped me still, suing you for defamation.
That's part of the defamation suit. It's the fact that he denied it and insulted her appearance, but she's saying she's glad that he doesn't find her attractive.
So when I started drinking, I went to a nightclub with some friends once, and a friend was talking to this big black American guy from the Air Force. He was over for some reason. And I came over, I was drinking, and I came over, you're right. And she turned to me and turned to the guy and went, do you think he's hot? And the guy from the Air Force went, well, he's rapeable. I mean, is that essentially what she's alleging? It's just like, well, no, I am rapeable to you,
Yeah.
or I'll sue you. It's like, okay, lunatic.
Yeah. Well. Speaking of lunacy, there is a part that CNN cut out of their clip, and I'd just like to remind people that she said this, which makes her very credible. Let's play, please.
You don't feel like a victim.
I was not thrown on the ground and ravished, which the word rape carries so many sexual connotations. This was not sexual. It hurt.
then.
It just
But I think most people think of rape as it is a violent assault. It is not.
I think most
sexual.
people think of rape as being sexy.
Let's take a short break.
Think of the fantasies.
We're just going to take a quick break. If you can stick around, we'll talk more on the other side.
You're fascinating to talk to.
I don't have anything to say to that.
I've got some statistics.
Yeah.
It's about 30 to 57%.
I prefer not to speak. If I speak,
right.
I'm in big trouble, and I don't want to be in big trouble. So she was actually asked about this on the stand during the trial. If we go to the Washington Post, please. Carroll qualified her CNN comments, which were construed by Donald Trump to mean that she enjoys rape. Okay, I think most people think of rape as being sexy because in our culture we are saturated with entertainment shows which continually show rapes to gather an audience. She said Game of Thrones depicted 9 rapes over 50 rape attempts. It wasn't clear where she got her numbers. This is from Washington Post as well, so even they're taking issue with it. It is used because it excites people and draws an audience. Here I said, I think most people can think of rape as being sexy, adding that rape is the most horrible violent act that can be done against a woman or man.
There's rape on TV that's shown in a bad light, which means that it's sexy.
Therefore, I am aroused.
And so is everyone else, aren't you? I can't be the only one, guys.
Yeah.
Everyone else in the room is like, are you...
It's like the Handmaid's Tale,
Where's
where
the
they go, you want to put us in bonnets and oppress us. You want to tie us down and...
You
No,
want to put me
lady.
on a pentagram and pour wax all over me. I've been a bad boy. It's
Sorry,
like,
lady, you're not my type. I'm suing you for defamation. Again,
That is a South Park sketch, I swear.
again, obviously telling the truth.
I'm going to
Okay.
sue you until you say you want to beat my ass with a paddle.
Yeah, so she also
Right.
has a consistent history of making these jokes because over a decade ago, she decided to joke about this on her Facebook. So this has been pulled up by Trump's legal team. Joseph Tacopina showed the jury this Facebook post from August 2012 where Carroll said, would you have sex with Donald Trump for $17,000 even if you could A, give the money to charity, B, close your eyes, and he's not allowed to speak? Isn't that right? Because he would...
105 comments, 5 likes.
Yeah.
I want to read those comments.
Well, but this was a year ago. No, sorry, 11 years ago. Well before she came out with her public rape story about Trump, and she was joking about having sex with Trump where he's in bondage. Okay. Interesting. The article also here notes that the lawsuit was conceived of at a house party with Molly Jong-Fast, who's an anti-Trump blogger, George Conway, husband of Kellyanne Conway, who hates Trump, and Kathy Griffin.
Can we talk about the elephant in the room?
Please do.
You're Donald Trump.
Yep.
You're the president of the United States, or,
Yep.
in the 90s, he's this billionaire,
Yep.
mortgage, dick-swinging magnate of American industry. And you could have any woman you want.
Yep. She was cute when she was younger, to be fair. There's a photo of her when she was younger. She's fine.
How old is she now?
Mid-60s?
So in 1995, she would have been 50?
30 odd.
30?
Callum, it's
Oh,
2020.
God, so much time has passed.
Yeah, she was fine when she was younger, but also the point is, Trump, highly successful man. There is no woman in history who has been attracted to highly successful men. No, only highly successful men have to go around taking sex by force. Sure. I mean, it's not beyond the realm of possibility, and obviously he's been found
No.
guilty of something. Not the rape that she alleged, but there we go. We wouldn't allege she's a liar, but fine.
She has proved in court that she. No, I can't make that joke.
Well, speaking.
I was gonna
Actually, speaking of legal, it has a remarkable similarity to a Law and Order episode. I'm not joking. This is Raheem Kassam's found this clip. Let's play this, please.
Role play took place in the dressing room of Bergdorf's. While she was trying on lingerie, I would burst in.
Hold on. Man.
Her name's Carroll.
So the man is defending himself from a rape charge, saying that it was a role play about bursting in on her in the changing room in Bergdorf's while she's trying on lingerie. The interesting thing from a National Pulse article that followed this up said that CNN reported in 2019 that Carroll was an avid Law and Order franchise fan, though she claims she'd never seen the Special Victims Unit featuring this episode. It tickled me to death, she said. The coincidence? It's a great, huge coincidence, but it is a magnificent one.
I've watched every episode except that one. Legally.
Also, in her own book, there's an excerpt, and she says she conceded
Wouldn't
that
it be fun to lie? I don't know.
Well, she conceded that her description of an entire floor of the famous department store being totally deserted of customers and staff conflicts with the fact that 99% of the time you'll have an attendant in Bergdorf's, and that the dressing room door being open is very strange considering the security there. In Bergdorf's dressing rooms, doors are usually locked until a client wants to try something on. That's in her own words. But okay, very credible. Let's go over to Trump's statements, because the man had a public gag order, not being
Local
allowed to defend
lunatic
himself.
making stuff up versus. Let's see what.
Well, we wouldn't allege she was making anything up at all. We just alleged that.
It's my opinion she is.
Well, don't sue me, please. So this is from the CNN article that's happened just after just before the case rested. One of her witnesses, who's Carroll Martin, she worked with Carroll, the one that's alleging it, at a news network in 1994 and 1996, and she says that she corroborates a story that Carroll had told her about being raped by Trump while they were working together at the time. So that's a second-hand account, but that's saying that there's a consistent history that she said at the time this was the case. Martin testified she told Carroll she shouldn't tell anyone the story because it was Donald Trump and he had a lot of attorneys, and I thought he would bury her, is what I had told her. Joe Tacopina, who's Trump's personal attorney, then read the jury some text messages that Martin had sent to friends and family once Carroll had made the lawsuit public. And she said she's going to sue when adult victims of rape law is passed in New York State or something. WTF, that's the defamation case and DOJ oversight or something. It's gone to another level and not something I can relate to. For her, sadly, I think this quest has become a lifestyle. Martin responded in court that at the time she sent those messages, she was dealing with some serious personal matters, which affected her feelings towards Carroll, and she testified the texts do not reflect her current feelings. Well, obviously, because now Carroll brought the lawsuit and could get some money for all of the damages.
Look, my private texts don't reflect any of my private feelings either. Nothing I've ever texted anyone,
Your Honor,
represents anything I think.
Also, there's some interesting statement from Trump here. He says, I still don't know this woman. I think she's a whack job. I have no idea. I don't know anything about this woman other than what I read in stories and what I hear. I know nothing about her. She's a liar. She's a sick person, in my opinion. Really sick. Something wrong with her.
P.S. Rape, not sexy.
Yeah. As most people would think, but apparently not E. Jean Carroll. So, Trump's deposition, we've got a summary from Law and Crime here, because we haven't got access to all the tapes, and the whole thing wasn't live-streamed because he's not Johnny Depp and she's not Amber Heard. And in the clip that went round, Trump mistook an old photograph of Carroll with his ex-wife, Maria Maples, because they were in the same photo. Maria Maples had a side profile, Carroll was facing Trump, and Carroll was with her black boyfriend, I forget the guy's name at the time. And Trump pointed to the wrong woman and said, that's Marla, yeah. And then the lawyer said, which one are you pointing to? And then pointed out that, no, you're pointing to Carroll. And Trump said, oh, the photograph is blurry. Law and Crime editorializes here that the photograph was seemingly clear. The interesting thing that Viva Frei has pointed out, if we go on to this next one, is that there's actually another clip in the deposition where Trump is looking at another printout and is also complaining that it's blurry. And I believe this was earlier than when he was shown that photo complaining about it being blurry. So the printouts might just be garbage, and Trump, being a 70-year-old man, might not have the best eyesight. But okay, all right, fair enough. Obviously lying. Back to the Law and Crime article, please. 26 other women have publicly accused the former president of sexual misconduct. 3 of them testified to the jury in this case. Curious. Totally unrelated cases. No evidence from them other than subjective testimonials, but they're being added as witnesses for this case that's very specific. How odd. Businesswoman Jessica Leeds told a jury that Trump groped her on a plane in 2019. People magazine journalist Natasha Stoynoff said that Trump pushed her against a wall and kissed her when she went to Mar-a-Lago to interview him for a profile. At a political rally, Trump jeered at Stoynoff to a crowd saying, look at her words, you tell me, what do you think? I don't think so. And so we have the famous video that you showed Harry the other day, but I thought we'd just play it in context here, of where Trump was asked, okay, well, what do you think of E. Jean Carroll? And he was not the most complimentary to her or her lawyer. Let's press play.
When you said in that video that Ms. Leeds would not be your first choice, you were referring to her physical looks, correct?
Just the overall. I look at her, I see her, I hear what she says, whatever. You wouldn't be a choice of mine either, to be honest with you. I hope you're not insulted. I would not, under any circumstances, have any interest in you. I'm honest when I say it. I would not have any interest in.
If we'd like to take a look at the lawyer, Roberta Kaplan.
I mean, I do love that it's literally the epic rap battle line. Just how do I say this? You're a 2.
She wouldn't be my type either. She.
Oh.
Yeah. She's also the lawyer for Mary Trump.
Maybe a 1.
Who hates, obviously, Donald and is currently suing him as well. So it seems there's some coordination here, but okay. There's also the amazing clip of Trump defending the reprehensible statement he made on Access Hollywood, where he suggested that women might like to sleep with powerful men and let them touch them up. So it's purely consensual. Might be a bit crass, but Trump decided to defend this. Let's play this clip.
And you do say in the video that as part of trying to have sex with this woman, you took her furniture shopping, correct?
We actually did look for furniture, yes.
So that was true. You actually took this woman dancing.
I think so. It's been a long time ago. How long was it? A long time ago. But I think so. I do think so.
Is that the only occasion when you took a woman shopping?
I think so.
And you say, and again, this has become very famous in this video, I just start kissing them. It's like a magnet. Just kiss. I don't even wait. And when you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything. Grab them by the pussy. You can do anything. That's what you said, correct?
Well, historically, that's true with stars.
It's true with stars that they can grab women by the pussy?
Well, if you look over the last million years, I guess that's been largely true. Not always, but largely true. Unfortunately or fortunately.
And you consider yourself to be a star?
I think you can say that, yeah.
Well, 1 million BC. Grog have many berries. Grog can do what he wants. Grog say you grab.
He's just carrying himself a little Hollywood Walk of Fame star into the cave wall. You no have headache now, wife. This is such a farce. Come on. Like, this is so ridiculous. Really? Okay. So this is the part that they haven't been playing from Trump's deposition that might not have made the rounds, and Viva decided to clip this again. Trump points out that there may be less than benevolent motivations behind this lawsuit. I think we should listen to this conspiracy theory and then refute it. Please play.
Statement from President Donald J. Trump. Regarding the, quote, story, unquote, by E. Jean Carroll, claiming she once encountered me at Bergdorf Goodman 23 years ago, I've never met this person in my life. She is trying to sell a new book that should indicate her motivation. It should be sold in the fiction section. Shame on those who make up false stories of assault to try to get publicity for themselves or sell a book or carry out a political agenda, like Julie Swetnick, who falsely accused Justice Brett Kavanaugh. It's just as bad for people to believe it, particularly when there is zero evidence. Worse still, for a dying publication to try to prop itself up by peddling fake news. It's an epidemic. Ms. Carroll and New York Magazine, no pictures, no surveillance, no videos, no reports, no sales attendants around, question mark. I would like to thank Bergdorf Goodman for confirming they have no video footage of any such incident because it never happened. False accusations diminish the severity of real assault.
True.
All should condemn false accusations and any actual assault in the strongest possible terms.
True.
If anyone has information that the Democratic Party is working with Ms. Carroll or New York Magazine, please notify us as soon as possible. The world should know what's really going on. It's a disgrace, and people should pay dearly for such false accusations. See, that's what you have in front of you?
Yeah.
So, Trump alleges that there might be Democratic operatives working to conduct sabotage of his entire life with multiple lawsuits, particularly this one. Of course, we could not allege that. Oh, damn.
Just to interrupt, I have actually remembered. It is a South Park episode.
Oh, go on.
Mel Gibson. Do you remember The Passion of the Christ?
I have not seen much South Park.
All right, anyway, Stan and Carl try and get their money back because the movie was crap. So they go to Mel Gibson's house, and Mel Gibson starts tying himself up to a rack and goes, "Oh, I bet you want to squeeze my nipples. I bet you want to stretch my body, but you'll never find the money. It won't happen." And they're just like, "No, can we just have the $10, please?"
Right.
It is actually a South Park episode.
To quote Friedrich Nietzsche, much of philosophy is confession. Anyway, so it turns out the person that's paying for this lawsuit is a Democrat megadonor who helped bankroll the Fusion GPS firm that compiled the Steele dossier for the Clinton campaign that said Trump was a Russian asset, and he was also the former founder of LinkedIn.
So previous liar who funded lies is now funding this lady who is totally not lying.
The interesting thing is Reid Hoffman was recently implicated in flying on Jeffrey Epstein's jet. So clearly cares about sexual assault. Hoffman told New York Magazine's Kara Swisher, "The short answer is I will spend as much I possibly can and it takes and is effective to beat Trump." Just motivated by truth, sure. Hoffman contributed more than $600,000 for the legal defense of Bean LLC, also known as Fusion GPS, the company responsible for the Steele dossier. Judge Kaplan actually ruled that the team cannot bring up the fact that Carroll's litigation was funded by this person, and they said that it would bias the plaintiffs, and to suggest that the plaintiff was biased and that the motive was biased is contempt of court. So Trump is not allowed to raise any evidence on his own social media to his own defense. He was not convicted of the rape alleged, but they alleged that he committed battery, even though there's no evidence of that or the rape, and that he committed defamation because he said that she was unattractive. Right, so obviously not a political hatchet job, and I'm sure that E. Jean Carroll has lied about absolutely nothing, and I hope she enjoys all her money.
If you appreciated that segment from the podcast, The Lotus Eaters, you can go to lotuseaters.com to get access to all the premium contents on the site, such as the Symposium series, this episode on the Politics of Aristotle, Part 2. If you'd like to find out what else is being put out, you can follow on Getter at lotuseaters_com on Getter. Thank you, and goodbye.